Afternoon. We'll go ahead and get started now. Welcome to this Health and Welfare Committee meeting. Today is Thursday, June 10th, 2021, and it is now 3:30 p.m. My name is Tina Sablan. I'm the chair of this committee, and at this time, we have present among the committee members, Vice Chair Leila Staffler, Representative Donald Maglonia, and Representative Sheila Babalta. Representative BJ Atto is also present, and with all members here, we have a quorum. I'd like to also introduce the members of the LB staff who are supporting today's committee meeting. We have our legislative assistant, Claire Sablan, and also our legislative assistant, Cam Nicholas, and legislative aide, Nava Quorum. And with that, members, our next order of business is the motion to adopt the agenda. May I ask for that motion, please?
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of adopting the agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. And next in our order of business, welcome Councilor Joe Tyron. We now can open the floor for public comments. And if there are members in the gallery who wish to make comments, now is the time to do so.
Thank you for the opportunity to comment today on this proposed markup. My name is Allie Nelson. I'm an Assistant Attorney General with the Office of the Attorney General and represent the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality. And on behalf of the Office of the Attorney General and the ECQ, we support the proposed markup as it was circulated and have no further comments at this time.
Thank you very much, Ms. Nelson. Did members have any questions for our Assistant AG at this time? Okay, thank you. Any other public comments? I'd like to welcome our CUC Deputy Director, William Gilmore, and Mr. Travis Spade from the ECQ. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, colleagues, we can now move to the next item in our agenda, which is the markup of Senate Bill 2240. So for the members' review, just the history of this bill. This was passed by the Senate and referred to the Health and Welfare Committee on April 23rd. It came up for review in this committee on April 30th. We received written and oral testimony from the Office of the Attorney General and from the agencies, the Commonwealth Utilities Corporation and the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality in particular, and their legal counsel. We also received comments from public health advocates, including graduate students from the University of California, Berkeley School of Public Health and our Commonwealth 670. The comments were generally in support of passage, though there were some recommendations for amendments from public comments, and those comments are included in the House Draft 1 version that has been circulated. Do you all have a copy in front of you? Yeah. So, okay, I'll just take a very short break while Representative Staffler gets her copy. I get mine. So just in summary, the amendments that have been incorporated include references to the environmental justice concerns that are raised by PFAS contamination. Those have been included in the findings now. There have also been some technical corrections and amendments that were made, including a definition of PFAS in the operative language of the bill. There were other recommendations that were made by the public comments, including to lower the maximum contaminant levels, impose more stringent disclosure, monitoring, and public engagement requirements. And we did run those recommendations by the Attorney General's office and the agencies. And the response generally was that many of these recommendations can be or already provided for by regulation. So I worked with the stakeholders and with our LB staff to incorporate the amendments on which there was agreement. And that is now in the form of House Draft 1. So this point, colleagues, because we will have to recall our previous action on April 30, which was to adopt the bill without amendments in order to entertain these amendments. And so without further objection, I would like to offer that motion. So to amend the motion that we passed on April 30th to adopt Senate Bill 2240 in its current form and to draft a standing committee report for its passage and offer this motion to adopt Senate Bill 2240 in the form of House Draft 1 with these amendments and draft a standing committee report for its passage. And I'd like to so move.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Discussion.
Ready.
Ready? Okay. May I just ask, should we read into the record the amendments, or is it sufficient?
No, it's not necessary to read it. And just for the sake of clarity, can we just call it like a reconsideration and then an amendment of the HD1 representative amendment, and the motion would be to reconsider the prior passage.
Oh, so not a motion to amend, but a motion to reconsider.
Right, reconsider the previous passage as of 2240.
Okay.
And to then pass 2240 as amended HD1.
Okay, are you recommending that we do this in two motions?
No, not
Do it
necessarily.
in one. Okay.
Yeah, and then as far as reading into the record, it's not necessary. The written amendment HD1 will suffice.
Thank you. So clarified. So the motion is, let me just reiterate that for the record. So the motion is to reconsider the passage of Senate Bill 2240 and move to adopt Senate Bill 2240 in the form of House Draft 1, which you all have in front of you. I so move.
Second.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. Discussion. Yes, Representative Atza.
Thank you, Chair. Just on the body of the bill itself, with the draft 1, there was the only effectuated portion is the additional. It's just the definition, right?
Yes, in the actual operative language of the bill, it's really just the definition of PFAS.
Just the definition.
Yes.
And then one of the recommendations that the previous speakers had during our previous meeting was some of these information is currently in regulation.
Yes.
And we're just putting it in statute. Would the committee be amendable to include additional language towards the end of the legislation to allow regulations, should additional or new regulations be set forth, that those regulations will supersede what we're trying to enact as a statute in the future?
So that was part of the Attorney General's response to the public comments that we received, that the regulations currently provide, and actually this bill also allows the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality to adopt more stringent maximum contaminant levels. So the 70 MCL is based on the EPA advisory standard, but the Bureau would have the ability already, once this bill is enacted, to adopt even stricter regulations.
Okay, yeah, my apologies to the members. I was trying to look for that specific section just because I saw 2 savings clause and 2 severability clause, which is built into the statute within its, I guess, regulations that they had that they're trying to build into the statute, right? Okay, so I stand corrected. Thank you.
Okay, does that address your concern?
Sure.
Okay, any other comments or questions at this time? Okay, well, all in favor of adopting Senate Bill 2240, House Draft 1, please say, oh, actually, I'm sorry, we'll have to do a roll call vote.
Representative Donald M. Manglonian.
Yes.
Representative Sheila J. Babalta.
Yes.
Representative Blas Jonathan T. Atta.
Yes.
Vice Chair Leila C. Staffler. Yes. Chair Christina E. Sablon.
Yes.
Chair, all 5 members voted in the affirmative.
Thank you, Ms. Sablon, and with all 5 members voting, Senate Bill 2240, House Draft 1 is hereby adopted, and staff are now directed to draft the standing committee report. And I believe the committee report is actually pretty much ready to go. There may be some amendments, but I'd like to ask our colleagues to please check with the LAs to review and sign the committee report so that we can pre-file it in time for tomorrow's deadline to get it on our session agenda for next week. And that's that for our agenda. I only have one other announcement to make for our Health and Welfare Committee policy roundtable, our LGBTQ policy roundtable. As you know, it is Pride Month, and we are planning this policy roundtable for the end of the month, June 30. There is a planning meeting for members who'd like to join in on that after today's meeting, and then more details should be coming out in the next week or so in terms of logistics and roundtable participants and all of that, the program. So stay tuned for that. And I don't have any other announcements at this point, but do other members have announcements? Okay. All right, moving on. Miscellaneous. Anything for miscellaneous? Okay. And now for adjournment. May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. All in favor of the motion to adjourn this meeting, please say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Thank you, colleagues, and thank you, staff.
We're out.